Directional.
Like, we have a webcam over here, or do you guys have it straight across? Or
Okay.
Yeah. Alrighty. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the final episode. Not the final episode, but the final episode of 2020.
It's our season finale.
Yes, our season finale. The South Florida Gamers Podcast. I am your host, the Silverback Senpai. Joining me, my co-host, Waluigi.
Good morning, everybody. Great to have you again. 2020, New Year's is less than a few days. Holy smokes. Can't wait to show you our guests right now.
And our guests are none other than the owners of Flynn's Arcade, Eddie and Will. What's going on, guys?
Nothing. How's it going, guys? It's early.
Yeah.
It's early.
Yeah, I know it's early for Will, and I know it's early for you, Eddie, because you guys are not used to being up and awake at around this time. So I apologize for that.
It's all right. No, it's all good.
We're usually up this. I'm usually up this early, but still, it's early. It's cold outside too.
Yeah.
It is beautiful. That's why I just got the hat on. You just got to respect the drip.
Anyway, guys, this episode of the podcast will be available on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, and Anchor. You can also check out the playback on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, which is currently being streamed on. And yeah, I mean that's it for the introduction of everything. And usually recap on last week's episode, and not last week, but last episode, which we had Alex, shout out to Dot Alex, and that was a very interesting episode and whatnot. Like
The G Fuel taste testing, I think, was what made it for a good portion.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I literally overdosed on G Fuel accidentally, and I did not feel any caffeine hitting me.
That is
okay.
bad.
It got me in another direction, but we're not talking about that now.
All right, so with our guests Eddie and Will, like this was planned since the very beginning.
Yes.
Like the very beginning of the podcast, a lot of people thought that we would have Eddie and Will as our very first guest, but I was like, no, I want to save them for last. I want to save them for last towards the end of the year, so that way that gives us a lot of time to get more guests out of the way, and then of course, I would say more experience and more time with them, being with them at the arcade, so that way they have their stories to tell. So I'm going to go ahead and bring it to you guys. And first of all, how are you guys doing this morning?
Very good. Doing good. Very good.
Glad to hear.
Can't complain.
Alrighty. So, like every podcast, we always ask the question of your gaming origins. Like, what got you into gaming? And I don't know which one you guys want to start.
Will can go first. Gaming wise, I don't know. I've always been more the strategy, real time strategy games, and Diablo, StarCraft. Played the first StarCraft for a while. A lot of the MMOs. Like I used to play a lot of Arcade. It's an MMO. Very big into that. That's like my origins. I started with the PS1, and that was like my first system that I really got into gaming and stuff like that. So
Nice.
yeah, that's kind of my little bit of origin. A lot of the real time strategy games really got me, and a lot of it was StarCraft and stuff like that.
What was your first gaming console starting out like?
Yeah, PS1. That was like my real first gaming console.
Okay. And was that your only console, or?
That was pretty much my only console. Like I think it was my brother who was the one who got it. I was never really into games. My brother got it, and then I kind of just went from there, and just after PS1, went into the Xbox, and then from there I was going into the Xbox 360. Then I switched on to PS4 and stuff like that.
So what were your favorite games on the console games, if you could remember any?
Console games, PS1. To be honest, there wasn't really a favorite. I can't really remember PS1 really. I played it, but it wasn't into it until when I got the Xbox and Halo 2 and stuff like that. That's when I really started to get into it.
Were you a toxic player during the Halo days?
I might have been one of them.
You got to start somehow.
Yeah, you got to start somehow.
Halo never teaches everybody.
I'm very big in PvP and MMOs, so yeah, I'm one of those people.
Gotcha. So what are your favorite PvP MMO games, like World of Warcraft, StarCraft?
Well, I like StarCraft. I never really got into WoW like other people, but I did play a game called Arcade, which is a very heavily PvP based game.
Okay.
And I like full loot system games. So like Diablo 2 or RuneScape, where if you kill somebody, you get all their stuff.
Gotcha.
So like the a little bit more risk games.
Gotcha.
Or like now I would guess you can say like survival games like Ark Survival or maybe like 7 Days to Die.
Oh,
Or like that type of stuff.
Earlier this year, we saw you and Eddie, and then of course myself. We were all playing Warzone. What were your thoughts on playing Call of Duty Warzone?
I like Call of Duty. I like Warzone. I'm starting to phase out the whole Battlegrounds. I used to play a lot of PUBG when it first came out.
Oh, okay.
So I like Warzone. I think they did a good job. I haven't really looked into the new one, so I'm not too sure how the new one goes. But Warzone, yeah, it was fun.
All right. And Eddie, let's start with you. Your gaming origins from when you were very young up until now.
So, since I'm probably the oldest one, right? I'm 36, so I was born in 1984.
Yeah, you're the oldest one.
So I probably have you beat by, what, how many years?
Let me see. I'm 32, so
Okay, so by 6 years, or, no, 4 years. 4 years, so go back a little bit. My grandmother had the NES, so the Nintendo Entertainment System. She had that one. So that was probably the first memories of playing it. The basics, Duck Hunt and Super Mario Brothers, and then progressive forward. I remember probably the first console I had that I owned was the PlayStation 1, which I got when I was in high school. So that was like the late 90s. So I got that. And then in high school, for some weird reason, we took a step backwards where we became infatuated with playing the N64 in history class. Where we'd have like Turok tournaments.
Oh my
So we'd
gosh,
have Turok, and it was weird. We used to play N64 a lot, and then during that time, Dreamcast came out, and then one of the high schoolers gotten it, and then we played Dreamcast a lot at his house because it was the newest system, and so a lot of Crazy Taxi and all the games that came along with that. Ready to Rumble, I think, was another one, right, from Dreamcast.
Yeah,
so
classic.
That, and then I would say the handhelds, and actually at PS1 I got playing on like a little 12-inch television, and then and then I got a PS2. And honestly, that's probably where it stopped in terms of purchasing consoles, because I did segue into PC for a while, but my friends owned most of the consoles. So, and I was over there so often. We would do like try to play through Jedi Power Battles in one weekend, without pausing the game or without dying or whatever the case may be. And then of course, like for handheld stuff, I had not a colored Game Boy, but the Game Boys that the shell was colored, but the screen was still old school screens. You remember?
Either the Fat Game Boy or the Game Boy Pocket.
No, it was a Fat Game Boy, but it was like aqua color, and so that was like the console, my travel little handheld for a while, and then of course because it was not backlit. You'd have to like hope and pray as the street lights would go by at night. You would like hit that. But I was still old enough. I'm old enough to remember, obviously having to rent games from Blockbuster and stuff like that, and systems. And I think Blockbuster did allow you to rent game consoles at one point in time.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
I remember the blue suitcase things that they had. It was the VCRs were in there, but also I think the consoles were in there at one point in time. But then honestly, PC gaming, Will and I were talking about that RuneScape. I got into RuneScape for a while, and now I'm, for some weird reason, like listening to RuneScape walkthroughs. Like there's no, like when I'm working on a project or something
I've
like that.
never heard this before.
I'm listening to RuneScape walkthroughs just because I find it fascinating that that would be considered a MMO.
Yeah, it's a
MMO,
free,
right?
yeah.
A free MMO that they do have a paid membership version.
Yeah, they
of
have
it.
paid member.
A free MMO would be so intricate.
Yeah.
And like how people like really dedicate their life to this cause.
Oh yeah, that's the MMO genre in general.
That
Yeah.
sounds terrifying. Like League of Legends players, but more calmer.
Yeah, and then in high school, because this is before the internet was really sufficient enough to handle the load of online playing. We would, like in high school, we would find abandoned buildings that still had power, and we would have LAN parties. So we'd all bring our towers and our old CRT monitors, and we would just play Call of Duty, not Call of Duty, excuse me, Counter-Strike and Day of Defeat and StarCraft.
Why does that sound like familiar? Like that meme where the guy is duct taped to the wall and he's on his PC.
That's not
what I was thinking.
That's exactly like what it was like. We would literally find, well, I wouldn't find them, but we would hear through the grapevine that there would be an abandoned building or an unoccupied building that still had power. And we would just go there, usually to like the third or fourth floor. Then you just see this monster Ethernet cables going down the hallways in the different rooms. God. And that's how you did data. That's how you did file sharing. That's how you did Counter-Strike, Day of Defeat. And I was never good at any of them. But it's just the thrill of it, you know? And we would stay there usually like for 24 to 48 hours throughout the whole weekend.
Oh, my.
And then, awesome. Or until the cops came, you know, whatever happened first. And we would literally play, everyone would throw in $20. We'd get pizza and you would play for a case of balls. That's what you would play for. Whoever won the tournament for that night. And that was before the internet was strong enough to handle like sufficient online gaming, you know, because you had to be it had to be connected, and of course Xbox. But then once again, like the consoles. See, I didn't have to own any consoles because everybody else had them, so I would just borrow those.
Yeah, I mean that was real convenient at that time. So, what games are you currently playing now, if you have the time to play?
I mean, I still appreciate the gaming world, and what goes into it. I would say I started on that PSP that I cracked. What was it? The Star Wars one.
The Force Unleashed.
Yeah, the Force Unleashed, like through PSP, because I got a PSP 3000 one that I cracked, so I'm able to download pirated games onto it. So that's pretty much what I've been kind of dabbling with. But one games that have honestly, like the RuneScape world has been intriguing to me again, like understanding, because I had it on my phone, the mobile, for a while, but it's so hard because my phone's fairly old, so it's so hard because you're like tapping, you're like trying to, you're trying to like chop this tree down and you're moving this direction. So, but other than that, I mean, I appreciate those games. I really appreciate, I know you guys hate it, but I appreciate not hate it, but there's problems with the aesthetics of the Cyberpunk game, like the graphic aesthetics.
Right. Oh, I'm enjoying
like the potential of it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's really intriguing to see where it can go next. And of course, I'm a big Ready Player One fan, so I'm really paying attention to the VR world and seeing what really can happen with that. Because once VR takes off and it's portable,
then a little bit more family friendly, and I would say a little bit more on the price downwards. I think that'll be the next big market. It's coming around the corner.
Yeah, but it has to get to that level where you have haptics and you have integrated exoskeletons and stuff like that. Yeah. I don't see that happening anytime soon, but.
So what were your experiences on playing the PlayStation VR? I know that I brought it over a couple of times, and I've had you play some games like Beat Saber. I've had you play Resident Evil 7, and recently it was the Star Wars Squadron and Ace Combat. How was your experience?
I liked it a lot. I mean, VR has a lot of potential. I like that immersive kind of escape from reality. It reminds me, it's the weird comparison, but it's the same appreciation that I have for reading books, meaning that it puts you into a world that doesn't exist in reality, and it allows you to escape on a very intricate level. Your mind kind of makes up the rest of it. With VR, like that Squadron game, I can see huge potential with it, because if you really dove into it, and played it a lot, I could imagine it being very, you'd get good at it. Your reaction time would go way up, but I'm excited. I'm excited to see also with companies like Magic Leap and seeing what they're going to come up with. They're using different types of VR and augmented reality technology, which a lot of people aren't paying attention to, but you should. So they have a really cool things going on. They're here local. They're in Davie.
Oh, okay. All right. Sweet. So, how was Warzone?
The Warzone that we played here?
Yeah,
I mean, I suck at it. I suck at it. I'm more of I appreciate, once again, its intricacy, and it's a fun game to play. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to play. I mean, playing with all you guys, understanding how you got to work as a team, and I just don't know. back in the day when we used to play first-person shooters, what we would do is we'd take like a Sharpie marker or like a dry erase marker and put it on dead center in the middle of the screen.
I've heard of this.
And then we would use that for accuracy because you were always on center. Mm-hmm. And I don't believe that people can be that good in the game without cheating of some sort.
That's agreeable.
In terms of their accuracy, their pinpoint accuracy. I mean, maybe they are that good, and kudos to them. But it's a fun game to play. I think everyone should play it. I've seen some really cool players here that are pretty proficient in it. They seem pretty good at it, and but I just don't understand the amount of storage space required for that stupid game.
Oh, we complained about this on like 2 or 3 episodes already.
Yeah.
700 gigs or 1,000,000 gigs or whatever it is.
Where we just said we need an extra a terabyte gig for the bugs and then one for the actual game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
And with the latest Call of Duty game on Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, it's another 100 gig game.
Oh god, I was gonna get it.
100 gigs for now. Then it'll be like another 200 in the next month.
Yeah, and I remember coming to the arcade, and I remember some of the guests were asking, "Hey, do you guys have on Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War?" I was like, "No." no.
Yeah, because they want the latest and greatest game because they don't have the space on their own PlayStation to download it anymore. So we had
get your own Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War.
Yeah, you had recommended, and that's what everyone really has to do. And it's a cheap upgrade, and just do it to get that extra space. But no, but isn't it true that Call of Duty they require the way they do their downloads? Is they actually download the whole game in its entirety all over again?
Well, if you're getting it digital, yeah, you have to download the entire game. And then, of course, there's that update, which can be 20, 30, 40, 60 gig.
Oh, they're going to say hours, and I was not surprised.
No, it takes a long time. Usually we just leave it here running at night because it just takes so long.
Yeah, I was just every time there was going to be a new update, I'm texting Eddie and Will, Call of Duty has another update.
Yeah, just leave it running. Because it was... But I mean, once again, kudos to them for the graphics, the intensity, and hey, how long has that game been around?
Since, 2019? Yeah.
Oh,
I'm talking about Call of Duty, the world, the Call of Duty world.
Franchise?
Since
franchise.
06?
I think
2000?
I would say for me it will be around the PS2 era when it was first introduced, but I don't know. Maybe it came out a little bit earlier on PC because I remember it being on PC and then it came to consoles.
Because they remade Call of Duty World at War, or they had a World War II theme originally for first Call of Duty.
Yeah, I remember that.
I'm thinking about this heavily now. But all I'm thinking is all the bugs and stuff. It's just going back into the gulag. I want to do that impression so bad with this hat on.
Going back, I don't understand that concept of it. That's why, even if I'm playing, I'll play Plunder even by myself. Just wander around
fun.
and just start messing with people,
I do solos.
But, anyways, yes, it was very enjoyable.
All right, so let's segue into our next question, and it's pretty much overall the arcade and. I apologize for that, but that was completely right. But I want to talk about the arcade, the inception of the arcade from the beginning up until now, because I will say that for you guys being a first-year arcade, especially during a pandemic, and completely survived all of 2020, it's mad impressive. For a first-year small business to survive a pandemic and just keep going and keep pushing. It's people want to know how did it started and up until now, your trials and your tribulations, the challenges that you had to face and overcome throughout the time of Flynn's Arcade.
All right, right on. I guess you want me to lead with it, or do you want?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so with we started doing these things called I'll let Will add the details so that we can both speak because I'll just keep going. So so we started with doing these things called retrocades. And what were retrocades? Will?
It was kind of a little pop-up events, pop-up. It wasn't even really arcade. It was more of a console and kind of tournament type of deals. We had one at our friend's print shop, a barber shop, and then I think it was the Underground Coffee.
Yeah, Underground Coffee House.
We had to do 3 of them back in it was around Delray, Fort Lauderdale-ish area.
Yeah, in Oakland Park, was a tattoo shop, and then the print shops in Deerfield, Mint Prints, and the tattoos called Calavera, and then Underground.
Yeah, it was kind of like a pop tournament. Then we, at I think the second and third, when we started bringing like a couple little vendors, and it was just more of like kind of a hangout, get together, like with different people and like little pop up events.
And this was in the 2000, 2018?
Yeah,
like early 2018.
Yeah, early
2017, 2018.
Yeah, around that area.
So we had these pop-up events. So we would draw a couple hundred people. Like the first one, it was the Calavera was packed. And
Yeah,
the
Calavera
Mint
was
Prints,
packed.
The Underground Coffee House wasn't as packed, but we still had a little good turnout. So we did those, and then we were not demolishing, but renovating a house that I was selling because obviously I do real estate. So we were selling, or one of my customers was selling a house, and we were there painting it and like kind of fixing it up, doing some maintenance to it. And then Will and I just started talking about it, like, hey, do you think this idea could work now? And this is like late 2018. Yeah, 18. Yeah,
18. Yeah,
2018. And so we're like, this could work.
It was November of 18.
It was November, and then we're like, it could work. So we started. So I was in. I got into a car accident. I remember because it was in December. I got into a car accident that December, and then we just started meeting every single week, for probably until when did we start looking at places like in
we
February?
met for like
2-3 months, 4 months.
It was like 3 to 4 months. Then we started like looking for places.
Right. So we started looking for places. So we literally met at this Panera Bread and other places for 3-4 months long. Then after the 3 to 4 months, and that's not doing anything. And not physically, just kind of fleshing plans out, developing business plan, personas, demographics, all that kind of sort of thing. And then after that happened, then we started looking, and so that puts us to what? What was like?
It was around May, because June was like when we started here working. So I was like, May.
Right. So May we started looking. That's now, mind you, that's 2019 still. May we started looking. We looked probably at how many places?
We looked at a good
Well, we didn't really physically go in them. Because no one picked their phone up. But we looked around for like what? A month or so?
Yeah, a month or so. We drove a lot. Like we drove around a lot in Boca, around like Pompano, Broward area.
Right. And then so what happened after that was we found this location, and this location met a lot of what our demographics and persona were for our business plan. Because with the plaza, it's very complex, and we could talk in greater length about it, but essentially, when you develop a brick and mortar business, which is what this is called, you have to keep a bunch of components in mind at the same time, meaning good street exposure, parking, safety, general appearance, and then you have to start dabbling into more of like the logistics of it, like how much is monthly rent, how much is first loss security going to cost you, how much is the insurance going to cost you, is there CAM, which is common area maintenance fees. All these different things start playing into this. So we also came here, and this is a dance studio originally. And the bays, this bay and two bays over,
other ones
are all sisters, meaning they're roughly the same kind of layout. They're all the same length, same width. Some are in worse condition than others.
Yeah.
So this one was like the best one.
Yeah, this was like the least
amount of work. Well, yeah, and so
as we thought.
So having owned other businesses in the past, and still own them, but never a brick and mortar. We're like, well, how's this gonna work? And then we executed the lease when we started the lease.
It was June. Yeah, in June. Then we started kind of like working in July.
Okay, so we started working in July, and then literally it took from July all the way until December. To late November.
Late November, yeah.
We're still working on it even when we opened.
Yeah, like December 7th when we had our grand opening, we were still,
There's still stuff that need to be done. So then that went all the way till December 7th. Then we opened December 7th, and it was what's it called? It's been a challenge. It's been a challenge and been very interesting experience, to say the least. But with the whole process, we had to go through a million different ways. A lot of times you have to look at how you're going to acquire the funding to do the build out, meaning the construction. It just doesn't pop up like that.
That and loopholes through the construction.
Yeah, like what can you really get away with? We learned a lot about ADA compliance, which is like American Disabilities Act for compliancy. Having the right amount of bathrooms, the right type of bar, the right width on the door. There's all these little intricacies.
The power for the machines. Each machine has 2 to 5 volts power.
2 amps.
No, amps. Sorry, yeah. Amps per machine. You got to calculate it.
Yeah,
so you don't blow your breakers and your load. Had to upgrade all the electrical. So that was interesting in itself, just calculating all that and, planning that out.
Yeah, you have to calculate because the machines, these older machines, like Will said, they run on 2 to 5 amps on startup. So they have to be started up in sequence. Like our breaker box is designed very differently in terms of we have them laid out where we know what sections can be turned on at what step. Because you can't just it's not flicking a switch, it'll overload the system.
Okay.
So you flip them on in sequence. And so we had to upgrade the entire electrical panel here from 100 amps to 200 amps.
Holy smokes.
Just that, tens of thousands of dollars, just to upgrade an electrical grid, that alone.
Yeah, we had to bring a whole new line, a power line.
Yeah, they
for
cut the
FPL.
line on FPL, and we brought in new lines from the main line outside, from the pole into here. So that was probably the biggest thing. And then Will's been in construction since high school, before high school.
Yeah, ever since my dad owns a construction company, ever since I could pick up a hammer, basically, I've been working construction.
So that itself, the build out expenses were cut significantly because usually your biggest cost is labor. So that cut it down by at least $50,000-$60,000.
Yeah, at least. Then I can pull my own permits, and I don't have to wait on any contractor to pull permits or anything like that. So that. That was
quite a bit.
Yeah.
And then you have to but you have to think about logistics in terms of these machines. Where are you going to get them from? How are you going to acquire them? How are you going to pay for them? And then all these different components of it. So it's been it's been a mission, to say the least. It's been a mission. So that's kind of like what it took to get here. And was there anything else big that we ran into? The stupid building department.
The permitting and everything else, that was a nightmare. But
I would say what would you say one piece of advice if you're doing a build out? What would be one piece of advice right now that you've learned?
Always plan for extra money.
Yeah, that is a huge thing. A lot of people,
like if you think you have enough savings,
you
double
don't.
it.
Yeah, you
Double
don't.
it.
You don't.
That was my problem. I thought I had savings, double it.
Yeah, you don't have enough. You don't have enough. I mean,
because there's always something that you want to buy that's never in your thought.
Yeah, or something that you need to, by the way, you need a bathroom.
Exactly.
And I would say, double your money 100%. What I would say is plan. Like Abraham Lincoln once said, I think it was him who said it, that he's like, if I had only an hour to cut down a tree, I'd spend 59 minutes sharpening the axe. Because if you take the time in preparation and plan accordingly, do the best of your ability, sure, you're going to run into things that are going to come up. But when you swing that axe, it's going to be a heck of a lot sharper than just like chopping away at a dull, with a dull blade.
Right.
But you're still not going to be prepared for everything. Yeah.
But and another big thing is time. People don't realize time. You gotta sacrifice a lot of time that you don't want to sacrifice all the time, but it's like you need to. It's a lot more time than people think.
Yeah, no, we're pulling, and be prepared also, like, not to pay yourself anything. Like, that's the biggest thing with business startups, is that I've seen small businesses think that they're going to go into making, I'm going to make loads of cash, it's going to be flashing money everywhere. No. You have to be able to sustain yourself outside of the small business for at least 3 years. And that might be good enough. If your business starts making money, like a lot of money like that quickly, and you don't have build out day, hey, good for you. But I haven't seen that happen in a while. But I would say be prepared, patience, extra money, time, and be ready for anything.
Noted.
Anything.
Nice. That's a good quote right there.
Yes.
That's a good quote. We got it. Hey, someone clip that.
Be ready for anything.
Clip this. I almost have my accent.
All right. So with that, another question I want to also ask is, with 2020, from the very start up until now, we're in December, in the final stages of December and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And it's been one challenging year. I think for a lot of people, for most of us, it's been a very challenging year. And there were businesses, especially arcades, that did not survive 2020 because of the pandemic, because of the shutdowns and whatnot. And some of them have been in business for years, right? So with you guys coming in, you guys being a first year or whatnot, like, how did you do it? Like, I think people would like to know, how is it that a first year small business, an arcade, an entertainment venue, surviving a pandemic in 2020? Like, how did you guys do it?
Will was on the corner a lot.
Wait, seriously?
No. I don't know. Will, what do you think? Well, the question is, how did we survive?
Yeah, how did you guys survive?
Okay, I'll lead it with that. You know, the Flynn's was once again with small businesses. Flynn's was based around a community. Right. So that's the one thing with business in general, is that you have to get out of your own way, and you have to remember that this is not about you; it's about what you can do for your community. So first and foremost, you know, our community, our Flynn's family, as we call everybody, it definitely helped us. You know. A lot of prayers, you know, like, oh God, I don't know how this is going to work. For me personally, that helped quite a bit. And I think that was definitely it. But to get like down to like logistics of how it worked, I would say, well, I mean, I have ideas. What do you think, Will? Like, what do you think? How it worked? How we made it? Or how we made it?
I think it was all preparation. Like, we did cons and we built that community up way before this even ground was even, you know, broken into. Meaning, went to how many cons before this whole thing's, like I said, it's
before we opened.
Comes back to community. We're very, you know, one of those escapism. I don't like, you know, there's enough going on in the world. You don't need to bring that stuff in here. This, you know, try and get away with. I think that's what resonates with people the most.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, the community was big. Also, like I said, if you want not paying yourself, putting everything back into the business to make it survive. That and just not stopping, like Eddie always made a good point. He's kind of pulling me along. It's just he goes a little fast for me too sometimes too. The business wise, just, you know, posting stuff like, oh, we got to do this, but not like he made a point like all these other places where literally once the pandemic and everything shut down for 2 to 3 months, you saw one text or one.
Hey, we're closed now.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, we're closed. But, you know, I think we did a pretty decent job. Hey, we're still around. We're still here. You know, we're still, you know, we did the streaming stuff. We did the, you know, just letting the community know that, hey, we're still here type of deal. We're not planning on going anywhere.
Yeah. And that's the biggest thing in terms of strategizing. You know, like Will said, we've been exceptionally blessed and fortunate with, you know, the donations. I mean, think about it. We were only open for
3 months.
2 months, 3 months, and then we shut down in March. You know, like, well, you were here. You know, yeah. we were shut down in March 18th, I think it was, and then we reopened in May. And I like to think that I've been blessed with the foresight of like a lot of wisdom in terms of like, well, you see the writing on the wall, you know, like, and Will and I always use this comparison. We're on a ship together. I'm like I'm steering the ship, you know, in terms of like my hands on the wheel. I have to see what's going ahead. And in a relationship, everybody has to make up for your weaknesses and your strengths. Right. You know what I'm saying? I am very forward. I'm very, very aggressive in terms of getting things completed. Will is a lot more laid back in some certain things, but he also can match my chutzpah, if you will, my drive, you know, in terms of getting stuff done. And I think Will hit on the head. I saw this as an opportunity, having gone to I went to a military school for my master's degree, and I've told you that before. So, yeah. Like, you know, my forte things, strategy and tacticians and all that kind of stuff. So having that experience under my belt, I realized that when let's say the enemy, right? When the enemy is sleeping, what do? You push ahead as hard as you can. You just unrelentingly keep dropping mortars on their place just to not let them breathe, right?
Yeah.
And that's what you do. And so when we knew this pandemic was or this thing was coming, dropping
instantly
mortars
that night.
on their place.
Yeah.
Just to not
Remember,
let
we're
them
here making videos.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, all right, we
And
need
that's
your
what you
help.
do.
Like, I'm like, we got to get to these people before they have no money. You know?
Oh my god! Your videos are so awesome.
But in all reality, that's, you have to be active with it. I see so many wantrepreneurs. They're not entrepreneurs or wantrepreneurs. They say they want to be in business, but in reality, what they like the idea of it. They don't like what's really going to cost you to be. You know,
They don't have the drive.
Yeah, they don't have the drive. Like, like I've heard before on these motivational things, if you and I get on a treadmill, I'm going to die before I get off. You know what I'm saying? You're going to get off. I'm going to die. I'm either going to win or I'm going to die on there, because you have to make that kind of sacrifice and you have to be willing to do it. And like Will said, during this shutdown thing, instantly we talked to our creditors. Instantly we talked to our creditors, said, listen, this is what's going on. Even before they really had programs in place.
Yeah.
Hey, we need assistance.
And we've been blessed with the people we work with very.
Oh yeah, we have
Very good.
We have very large, our build out, hundreds of thousands of dollars. So it's like, we have like a lot of, like Will said, very blessing with these people where we called up because we paid on time every month, no questions asked. We never had to ask us for our payment, and we called up, say, hey, listen, this is it, no worries, we got you. And then once again with the donations, that kept us going. And then Will and I were saying, with the escapism, this is escapism. We don't bring that kind of stuff in here in terms of, because this is really not the place for it. Why would you're coming here to like escape something? Like I'm not going to talk to you about politics or,
It's like the movie industry is going all political. I'm just like, why? I don't. You're an actor.
I'm here. Yeah, I'm here.
You entertain me. Do your job. And I don't want to.
play Pac-Man in peace.
Yeah, just please. There's a great movie called The Network. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it, but it's an older movie. And the guy says like he's basically ranting off where he's talking about like, I want to go home and just turn my television on and just like,
I'm just like, why?
Blank out. Now you're back in my house telling me what to think, tell me what to eat, tell me what to drink. While Luigi and I were having this conversation before the stream with Instagram and social media and TikTok, it's just polished. Everything's so polished.
It is.
It's so polished, but there is beauty in imperfection. That's because we're imperfect. But anyways, with Flynn's, I think the imperfections come out because like, hey, well, we messed up there, like you got to keep rolling with the punches.
Yeah, that was a bad idea.
Let's not do that again. And you have that, man. I would just say also, making sure that your overhead is really, really low. And overhead, what I mean by that is like, how much does it cost you to keep your doors open on everything? Our overhead is very, very low.
That and change.
Yes. Pivot. Be able to change as quickly as possible. There's a great book called Where's My Cheese? And it's a very short book. And the book prefaces that idea where it's like basically like mice running around in a maze, and there's 4 mice, and some mice are adapting quicker, and some mice want to go back to they're looking for their cheese in the same plot it was, but it's not there anymore. You have to be able to pivot very quickly. That's why like a lot of these, if you guys have been paying attention, a lot of these big organizations are so slow to change because there's so much bureaucracy crap in there that they can't
Too much in the system.
Yeah, there's too much system. Yeah, here us it's just, all right, we want to do that. All right, let's see if Senpai, what Senpai thinks about it. All right, let's see what Ben thinks about it. Let's see what, and then all right, let's do it.
We're doing it Monday.
Exactly, we're starting Monday. So that's probably what got us through it. All that stuff.
Man, that is one hell of an origin story.
That just left me speechless. So
because usually people when they come to the arcade, they just think that it's not that hard to run an arcade. It's very easy or whatnot. You guys should do this. You guys should do that. And I know like you guys have gotten that a lot, like a lot, but it's really not as easy once you get into the nitty gritty details of it. And the hard part is the part where a lot of people don't want to do because they just don't have the drive, as Will said. Like they don't have the drive to do it because they want to be entrepreneurs, but they don't want to do the job. Like they don't want to do the job. They just want a quick, easy way, and they see this arcade as, man, I can, hey, I could do it too, or whatnot. Like you guys make it look so easy. It's like And I'm just like looking at them like, you think it's easy?
I think we looked at the same people. I would think about that.
And I'm just like, you think it's easy? It's not. Once you like, if you've seen like their if you go on Flynn's Gaming FL Instagram page, go all the way down to the very, very early photos, the very older photos, and you can see what the arcade used to look like versus now.
Yeah.
This is definitely a change up.
It was different, It wasn't easy at all. It's like 6 months of swinging a hammer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that back that everybody knows, I always tell people like what was the hardest, like that in the back there was a concrete wall for the bathroom. It took me like 3 days to demo that thing because I thought it was hollow, and it wasn't hollow. It wasn't hollow. It was bad.
Yeah, because the plaza's built in 1960, so I mean you're dealing with solid concrete on everything, which is good because you can mount stuff pretty easily, and it insulates pretty well. Last night it was pretty warm, and even when it's cool, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Then the sound, it's good for sound.
Yeah, the sound carries very well, but yeah, no, it's no joke, man. It's no joke. It's no joke.
When it came down to like events, like you guys have like cosplay events and whatnot, from the very first up until your last recent one, which was the Christmas event, like were there any failures, any challenges in those events, like hosting the events? And of course it all comes down to planning. Like, what were some of the challenges of hosting some of the events here at the arcade?
Some of the challenges.
Any kind of minor setback?
Planning is always the thing about events is you always learn through the events. Like our very first cosplay event, we didn't expect that many people to show up, so we were kind of unprepared for like I know one of my good friends Kyle came along and I guess he walked in and he was like, "We need water." He sent some out to like Walmart to get water. Just different nothing really major, but we do learn about like pathing. Like, what do you want to do? Where do you want to set up? Like, we've been getting better at like kind of
logistics.
Logistic wise, and with our little events and like vendors, like who's gonna come, we're gonna set it up, like that type of deal. Then with the whole pandemic thing, then that brought another wrench into the gears, if you will, like trying to get people in and outside. Our last event, we put some machines outside to kind of get a better flow of traffic in and outside. Just little things, add peppering in like cotton candy, popcorn machines, stuff like that. But it's it's always a learning. I think we are doing a decent job of kind of going through every event, trying to make it a little bit better.
Yeah, and then the biggest thing is, like Will said, our biggest downfall is we need to be more thorough at planning them out longer, because I find that people have more notice. So that's why, like this year, like we've talked to you about it, this year we're going to strategize and plan our events out, hopefully the whole year up front, and then I can begin to launch all the events on our Facebook page, social media, to give people time to prepare. And then also we'll take into consideration like the cons that are going on, because obviously most likely we'll be in attendance, in terms of machines or Gundam or something. So we don't want to coincide with them.
We're not trying to verse each other.
No. We would rather have that opportunity to say, hey, we're going to have this meetup, or this cosplay this, or this Gundam this, or whatever the case may be. But I would say our biggest hurdle has always been like space. Our biggest hurdle has always been space. We use the whole pig here, like every part of it. So we've always had that issue with space because we're only, we're not super, super huge. So that has always been like a hurdle to overcome. And then the biggest thing also is that, like Will said, a lot of times people don't understand is that in order for a small business to stay open, one has to support that small business. A lot of times and people for some reason have that hard time connecting the two. Like, if you want something to stay alive, support is necessary, right? And even sharing it, if you can't attend, share it, post it. Even if it's not us. I'm not talking about us in general, but I've seen that also been a massive hurdle. Is that people will say, "Oh yeah, I want this event, or I want this, or want that," but talk is cheap. Talk is cheap.
You can see that a lot in the tournament realm.
Yeah, like, you should do a Street Fighter Alpha 3 tournament. I'm like, What,
Yeah,
you're
who's
going
gonna
to play
show?
by yourself? You know, but we're always willing to give everyone a shot. We're not being cocky. That wasn't a cocky statement. That was just reality. You know, it's like some things aren't feasible. Like the tournament community, definitely, Will had said, it's very interesting what's happening to it in general. But I would say to echo Will, planning, the logistics of it need to be improved. The planning needs to be improved. And then the space, obviously. And then spacing our events out far enough. Our biggest thing during this shutdown time was to do as many as we could to give people an opportunity to escape the crappy reality that they may be in.
Right.
You know, and we were willing to sacrifice our time, our sanity, our sleep in order to make that a reality. So that's what happened.
All right. So with the arcade, another question. And
Yeah.
I think I already mentioned this to you guys already last night. What are your pet peeves of the arcade, running the arcade? Like any that you want to share with us?
Oh, I can't wait to hear this one.
So, who wants to go first? Pet peeves.
Will, do you want to go first?
Yeah, you go.
All right, I'll go first. So,
I might have a list.
I mean, with any business, you have to understand that you're dealing with, once again, imperfect beings, right? And everyone's gonna make mistakes, and things are gonna happen. Yeah. You just have to be ready to roll with that very quickly. I would say the biggest thing is that we've been exceptionally fortunate that 99.9% of people, majority of the people that come into the arcade treat it with respect and I guess respect's the only word I can think of. Respect. They treat it with respect. They don't destroy stuff. They are mindful of where they put their drinks.
Yeah, that is very true.
They are very mindful, very respectful. Like, if they see something spilled, they either pick it up or they let us know or whatever. I mean, I would say the biggest one is really the it seems to be this inability to conceive monetary value of what systems cost. Like, in terms of like, oh, well, why don't you have or machines? Like, why don't you have Initial D? Or why don't you have Killer Queen? And I simply say, well, or pinball.
Yeah,
pinball.
Oh,
Good God,
dear.
pinball.
God.
Like, pinball. I love pinball. But the thing is also, it's that, once again, I know people don't understand the reality of how much things cost. I get that, and but it's that's probably a pet peeve, just because you get berated, constantly with these questions, like on social media. I mean, weekly. Oh, do you have this? Do you have this? Do you have this? Do you have this? Do you have that?
Or what's your game list?
Yeah, what's your game list?
Yeah,
like
you wouldn't say it would be questions; it'd be suggestions that they're throwing that's unnecessary to.
Oh no, yeah, these aren't questions. These are like demands.
Yeah, demands or suggestions, or I was trying to say it loosely.
Yeah, these are like, hey, why don't you have pinball? I would say that's the biggest thing. But once again, it's 99.9% of everybody really respects it and enjoys it. And of course, you can make your requests and stuff, but I found having owned this for over a year now, I find that what do we call it? We call it social cues.
Yeah, social cues. Yeah,
social cues in our world, in our Flynn's world, are kind of like, people are constantly working on them. Like they don't understand sometimes that, like, hey, what you just asked is kind of offensive. Like what you just said is kind of this, and it's all about teaching, and it's all about, hey, maybe we could ask that question a little differently, or just treating it like with love, like love and kindness, and just understanding, like, they may not see things for the reality of the situation, because a pinball machine is great, but do you guys know how much pinball machines cost?
God,
You're talking about, like, a new one's like $6,500.
I'm sorry.
Just for one.
I'm sorry. What?
$6,500 for a new one.
It better have beautiful lights and shit.
Not to mention the maintenance of it. Maintenance alone will kill you.
Oh my God.
not even just maintenance wise, just knowing how to maintain it.
That pinball
Oh, yeah.
machine has me questioning everything now.
Yeah, like, I mean, the average arcade machine, I mean, just to maintain these, a lot of these are relics. I mean, they're 30 years old, built in the 80s. Even think about it, even one that's built in when I was born, or not even born, but in the 1990s, these are 90s machines. So, I mean, 1990 was what? How many years ago? 30 years ago? So I think the average machine here is probably about 25 years old. And it takes a lot to keep them up.
I feel like a child. I'm like,
People,
I'm 24, man.
People, people, they treat them with. I think they treat them with care for the most part. Some people beat the heck out of them.
Yeah.
Some people beat the heck out of them.
Or worse, Capcom, that poor machine.
I'm surprised
DDR.
it's over there. Yeah, DDR.
Oh no, I'm looking at other machine now.
Oh yeah, no, DDR. Pandora gets beaten up pretty bad. The Marvel vs. Capcom pretty bad.
I've never seen such abuse in the machine.
They really abuse it, but. They pound on it. I'm like, just because you're hitting harder doesn't mean you're going to play better.
These are analog.
There's micro switches behind there, registering.
Like,
obviously, the micro switch is not functioning if it is not reacting to it. Same thing with DDR. DDR is a very. I mean, that game is from 2004, I believe.
Yeah, that version is.
So it's an older game. But the thing is, the pressure pads, there's 4 pressure pads in each sensor. There's 4 sensors. There's 16 pressure pads. Each pressure pad costs $10. So
I'm always afraid of stepping on it just because I'm a hefty guy. But
oh, no, it can handle it, bro. It can handle it.
That's usually a common fear I have.
Does
But
it?
mostly just because I don't want to say I suck at it.
DDR. But once again, these aren't really like, I mean, in the big scheme of things, we're very fortunate, very blessed to have what we have and to do what we do. It just comes with the territory. I've been really working on just not taking things so personally, like Will tells me. Just don't take things so personally, Because I get irritated sometimes with like people's, not our Flynn's family, but some outside people and what they say about our Flynn's family and what their criticism and this and that. I just tell them, listen, you don't know I have an army behind me. Like I could destroy you. So like,
Might be.
yeah, exactly. I may be very kind, but don't. The monster is just sleeping. You know what I'm saying? He's not dead. So, but anyways, that's probably the biggest pet peeve. Like we said, the abuse on the machines a little bit, and then just constantly asking for new machines. And I'm like, just donate it. Like if you got it, just donate it.
Yeah, Battletoads.
Battletoads.
Yeah. Well, now that we have the PS5 here, thanks to Driven to Win, that's pretty much subsided a lot because we got asked a lot. Like a lot.
You guys have the PS5. Do you guys have the X Series X?
Oh my god! It's like, yes. Well, I'm focusing on keeping the doors open, as opposed to I'm trying to keep this going as long as we possibly can. But yeah, I would say that's the biggest pet peeve. What do you think, Will?
For one of mine, I know it doesn't bother you so much, like Eddie says, imperfect people for imperfect world, but there's one that always gets me. I just kind of like I have to smile through it because, I don't know, just my nature is like I want to say something else, but I can't. Like when people call and be like, oh, I'm looking on your website. What's your guys' hours of operation? And like we had the first thing you see on the website is the hours of operation. It's big letters at the very first thing. I just got like kind of like to myself like.
Well, now I changed
like
it.
smile.
Now I did change it. I put the tab, so they have to click one other click.
Yeah, but that's one of my.
Well, that's why I pinned it to the top of our Facebook page so that they know. Like, oh no, I love that.
That is awesome.
That's my biggest
or people will call me like, oh, it's like let's say 7:45. Oh, is there still room for me to get in the Smash tournament? I'm like, what? I'm like, dude,
we started an hour ago.
We started at 7:30. Or the brackets have shut down or the case. But you know what? Our Smash community has gotten a lot stronger. They hold each other accountable. I would say at first it was pretty bad.
Yeah,
it got real bad in terms of like, oh, what time do you open? Do you have a bathroom? Just a random question. But now with everything that our world is going through, I found people are. They're like they go online and check. I haven't gotten that many calls about hours of operation, at least me.
I don't know. I always get them. And
maybe we'll get some.
Like I don't know. Like they just call me on a
cell phone. Hey, what time do you open? Who is this?
Who are you people?
Who are you?
I got a question in the chat from Bella Chris Wimmer saying, with this new younger generation of gamers and weebs and the growth of popularity in the communities, do you feel that arcades will be making major comeback in the upcoming years?
No, they won't. You'll see more of them disappear. What's happening is you'll see what you're beginning to see is probably a bubble because of the trendiness behind it. You'll also begin to see that these machines are beginning to die. So these tubes, the CRT tubes, they don't make them anymore. The CRT tubes they don't make anymore. The boards, The
Yeah, the
boards,
boards
they
are
fry
burning out.
They burn out. You can't find these capacitors anymore. The old school guys who ran these worlds, they're either passing away or they're not in the game anymore. They're a little older, you know. Will it always be here? Yeah, I think you'll have mom and pop, smaller scale arcades. Like I'm talking true arcades like this. You know what I'm saying? Or even like Arcade Odyssey in Miami. You know that I consider a true arcade. I don't consider Extreme Action Park an arcade. You know what I'm saying? Because of the mere fact that it's just a money pit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just about.
Well, yes, but they're more entertainment. I would say bigger entertainment.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
a
there you go.
Dave
Perfect,
and
bro.
Buster's, a Boomers.
They're very large scale.
Yeah.
They're not mom and pop and their machines are brand new. You know what
they're
I mean?
like the top of the line, just like 2020.
Yeah, like the
2019
Halo.
new.
So the reason why I say no is because we've even noticed it in our own circle is that the cost of keeping the machines alive is very difficult. The trendiness I think will always kind of be there, but
Yeah.
it's limited. So the reason I say no is because you're going to have to pivot. Like Will was saying, you have to move real quickly. Like Flynn just doesn't do arcade, right?
Yeah.
We have arcade, we have console, we have Gundam, we have tabletop, we have D&D, we have paint and build nights, we have our events. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta be multiple verticals. So to answer their questions, that it could survive. The businesses could survive and thrive if they diversify in what they're doing and what they're offering their customers or their family. You know, but like the arcades itself, these machines are getting harder and harder to find. Like they're not easy. They're especially Southeast Florida. Because remember, we didn't have any of the larger arcades here. The only ones we had Grand Prix gone. We saw Flippers, I haven't been there in a while, but they have I think more of the newer machines. We had a place called Bigfoot's, which is in Sunrise for a little while. We had a couple other mom and pop arcades, but we didn't have like these epicenters like in the middle of the country. You know, like these Twin Galaxies or like all these other massive places with these massive arcades that are still going strong. Because think about it, their entertainment levels are they don't have a lot.
Yeah.
They don't have a lot going on. You know?
Southeast Florida has a lot of stuff.
Yeah, Southeast Florida has a lot. In arcades, unfortunately, I think the machines are out there, but knowing what I've gone through, I mean, unless you have deep pockets, I can see it. I don't see anything really coming back. I see it coming back in terms of, like I said, different like avenues. Like
I would say that, and it
arcades.
depends on the area as well.
Depends on the area,
I would say
primarily.
South Florida, yeah.
Yeah, that's probably.
But like we always see machines up in northern, like Michigan, Wisconsin, like California. Yeah, those are still going
Pennsylvania.
good. Yeah, I think this depends on the area. as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. In Southeast Florida, I mean, hey, I wish more popped up. I don't see it happening. I see, once again, like you said, dude, look at that. Versus closed. Mm-hmm. East Coast Gaming closed. I heard rumors that Simplicity closed, which is a PC lounge place. I heard rumors, but I don't know if it's true. But look, PC Gaming, you know, it's unfortunate, man. They weren't able to sustain it for whatever the reason is, you know.
Wow, I feel so non-existent for not knowing this many places in South Florida. As
Yeah.
a Floridian.
Well, remember,
you
that's
guys?
another thing, guys. Remember another thing. You got to know your quote unquote enemy. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to know what's going on in the industry. Because if you don't know, ignorance is bliss, man. Until it comes and slaps you in the face.
We got another question from Mark Mingo in the chat saying, "Do you guys remember Aladdin's Castle? It was a pretty big arcade.
Aladdin's Castle.
Aladdin's Castle. It was a pretty big arcade in the old Hollywood fashion.
Yes, yeah. I remember it just by the name of it because I don't think I was old enough. I was born and raised in Miami, so I don't think I was old enough to have frequented. My arcade was Grand Prix Racerama. But yes, I remember Aladdin's Castle. Man, I just found one. I think I found one of their coins because when we buy these machines, when we get these machines in the coin drawers, there's usually tokens still in there, and you can kind of see where it is. If you look in our case in the front, I have a couple of coins like from Grand Prix. I have one from the one that was in Miami. I always forget the name of it. Action something or whatever. But yeah, I remember Aladdin's Castle. Do you remember it? No, probably
Nah.
not. Yeah,
A little bit younger.
I'm dating myself here, but yes, I remember it. It was that's a good call, man. Aladdin's Castle, bro. Oh.
So when it comes to the arcade machines and whatnot, what do you guys think of the arcade one-up machines that you see in your Walmart? What are your thoughts on
Oh my
those?
god, I was thinking the same thing, especially in Target.
Yeah.
I'll let Eddie answer that one.
Our rule with arcade machines: you cannot call it an arcade machine unless it will kill you if it falls on you.
Are we talking about like the Mortal Kombat finisher with Liu Kang?
I'm talking about legit. These machines weigh
A lot.
3, 4, 5. You've carried them.
Yeah.
3 or 4, 5, 600
I've watched
pounds.
you carry them.
Easily. Do you have your bruise? Is your bruise healed yet or
No, it's pretty healed, but yeah, exactly.
man.
One very good example was Eddie
Last week
wanted me to
sent him on a journey.
Yeah, it was a journey. It was
picked
from
up-
St. Pete to Tampa, then to Orlando, then back to pick up machines
all in one day.
all in one day. So I
You
was
guys
loading.
haven't seen the machines
Yeah.
yet. They're in the other bay.
I was loading a machine.
Well, the Aliens was one of them.
Yeah, one of the aliens
was one of them.
But yeah, I was loading a machine on the ramp, and our dolly the handle on the dolly decided to come off while I was pulling it up the ramp.
Oh my God.
So the machine falls on my arm, both my arms, pinning me to the trailer. Let's just say I almost broke my arm. Like my arm is still, it's
Eddie, a
getting
real
better.
arcade machine.
Let me see it. Where
It's like
it's
it's like
it's a little bit better.
It's
Yeah,
better,
it's
but
better.
it was
Little yellow.
black and yeah, it was pretty bad.
It was a nasty bruise
Yeah.
on the side.
Yeah, it's no joke. These machines,
Yeah,
the
man.
1-ups. I mean, I admire and I respect the fact of what they are and what they're trying to do, but you really couldn't. That should be it should be not arcade 1-up. It should be not arcade 1-up.
Not
You know what I'm saying?
arcade.
It's an arcade machine, yes, but the buttons are garbage. The screen is garbage. The board, I haven't even looked at their internals. They're probably just a little
It's probably a little
thing.
Yeah, PC. What is it?
I recommend that if you get one of those things, you gut it, you change the buttons out immediately. Be prepared to change that monitor out and just put a Pandora in there. That'll you talk about machines, you can get any game you want, basically, for the
Yeah.
most part. But yeah, I mean, the price point too, freaking A, it's what, $300, $400?
What?
You could find an arcade machine for that, a legit arcade machine, and just gut it like I did. You know what I'm saying? Gut it, put a new monitor in it. I mean, you probably spend $800, $1,000, but you will have every machine, every game you want in there.
And I remember you guys were working on this
Yeah.
one, which is behind me.
Mm-hmm.
How much did it cost you to get this, and then of course the building it up?
Yeah. I think that was originally a NBA hang time game because you need the 4 players. So what I did was the machine, it actually functioned. The board functioned. I still have the tube also. That cost me, I think I got it from some guy's house here locally, $400 I paid for it. And then $450. And then to do everything, that was more of a learning experience for me to do everything on it, from the painting to the T-molding to the overlays to the buttons to the our friend Ant helped us with the software on the inside. I would say probably another $500, $600. So probably $1,100 or $1,100 in it, plus the knowledge of being able to do it. That's probably invaluable. But yeah, probably about $1,000, $1,100 plus the time.
So do you guys think that I wouldn't say with the new I would say the PS5, the X Series X, especially the digital ones, would you be able to fit one in an arcade machine and sell it off as, okay, here's an arcade machine?
Could you do it? Yeah, I mean, you could probably do it.
Yeah, we've seen cabinets kind of on those candy cabs, but they're not. They do the newer PS4, and they do a lot of the fighting games running through the PS4. So you could do it.
Yeah.
There are mods that hook up buttons to PlayStation, the USB ports and stuff like that. So you could do it.
There are machines back in the day called Quasimodos. That's what they are. They're called Quasimodos, and what they are, you'll find them occasionally. Some people might have them. You would have seen them at a Burger King or McDonald's or something like that, because what they did is it allowed you to plug in Wii's, GameCubes, N64s.
You're talking
older
about in the
systems.
McDonald's and such when you have those old.
Not the kiosk ones where the joystick or the handle came out.
I
No,
had
not that.
excitement
It's
for a
a
second.
separate. It's like an arcade machine. You'll see it. What it'll do is the button overlay will be really different. The buttons will be very different, and then there'll be a drawer on the inside. And then you'll find them occasionally, but they're not that common. But yeah, Quasimodos, that's what they were called. But candy cabinets do the same thing. I want a candy cabinet bad, but it's too wide. It won't even fit through the door
Oh, wow.
because you can't take them apart.
Oh.
They're usually like injection molded, right? Like they're all like one piece.
Yeah,
aren't they?
probably. Yeah.
All one piece. Yeah.
Then
Where would we put it?
then finding one.
Yeah,
It's
finding
like-
one. If you do have a candy cabinet or an arcade machine you want to sell or give away, we will take it. But yeah, that's what we got.
I got a question. How do
Yeah.
you guys feel about the mini consoles, such as like the PS1 Mini, the N64? Has
Like
anyone ever
the-
asked for it?
The little ones?
Yeah,
We
like-
have them.
I know. Like, what's your personal opinion?
I mean, I think they were playing off the nostalgia, you know? It's cool. I mean, hey, they put some good games in the PlayStation 1. They put, Metal Gear Solid's in there, I think.
Yeah.
Twisted Metal's in there. Is Tony Hawk Pro Skater in there?
No,
I don't think so.
don't think so.
Unfortunately, not.
Yeah, they put some decent games in there. I mean, I like them. I don't know why would they just want to release the original ones again. You know, like they have the
Yeah.
molds. You know, they're just
It's
sitting
for
there.
Raspberry Pi too, right?
Yeah, it's something like it. I assume the menu's too simplistic, and plus they use USB for the controllers. You know, so
That's true.
I'd imagine that it's something like that. But the price point was low. I heard pretty good things about when we have the PlayStation 1. And then they had one for Sega, right? They had one for Sega, NES, SNES.
The SNES.
Sega. Shout out Jake James Lugo.
Yes, I know he did a video. Didn't he do a video on it a little while ago about the Sega one? Did he have? Was it bad? I don't remember. Was it a bad one? Like
I just
in terms
remember
of-
watching the commercial because he told me to, and I forgot like until 8 months later.
then they're all sold out. But yeah, no, they're cool. Do you like them all?
Yeah, I think it's interesting. Like you said, it might as well just like why not just come back.
Injection
Redo-
mold the other
exactly.
ones. You have the molds, Sony. Like, why not just release it all over again? You know how
Yeah.
nostalgic would that be? Original box, original everything.
Do it.
Yeah,
That'd be amazing. You know,
I've
yeah,
always been
because people will
fascinated.
buy it up.
it would be a rebirth of all the old games.
retro.
Everything would be back. You know, everything would be back. But the reason probably is because just the cost of doing that. Think about it. The laser readers and all that kind of stuff probably doesn't
Oh,
exist
yeah.
anymore.
Then the games, DVDs or like the chips or all that stuff. Now everything's going to digital. They can make more money with digital.
Oh, and especially scalpers if they have disc.
Yeah, dude.
We talked about the PS5,
Yeah.
but actual disc would be chaotic.
Yeah. Well, think what people are doing, like returning bootleg games, like selling them to like GameStop and stuff. Like, putting new labels on them. Oh yeah. I mean, kudos to them for thinking of that idea, but yeah, I could see it being a problem. But no, it'd be a rebirth in the PlayStation and everything like that. I mean, that would be really cool. That's actually a really good idea.
LAN party's coming back, 2021, guys.
Exactly.
Oh, I would love to.
I would do it.
I got another question from Mark. He says, "Have you guys seen or heard of a Neo Geo Mini or something similar to it? There was a side scroller that had wizard and it was awesome. Can't remember the game, but I'm old. LOL.
Neo Geo Mini. It was a game.
Neo
Have
Geo-
you seen or heard of a Neo Geo?
I'm looking this up
Mini?
right now.
We have a Neo Geo here. Was it? I wonder if it was the arcade, if it's an arcade cabinet, or if it was a game itself. Because Neo Geos, from at least from what I remember, Neo Geos were cabinets, right? Neo Geos were cabinets, but they played different games.
I'm looking
Yeah.
at it right now, but
Yeah.
it looks like a mini arcade cabinet. From
Let me see it.
Oh god. Here you go. Yep. This is what I just found right off the bat.
Oh, it's like a tabletop thing. Oh, unless someone made it. Doesn't look made. No, but GameStop's selling them. But no, I have not heard of that.
Oh, it was an arcade game.
Ow.
It was an arcade game. It was a side scroller. What did he say? What did Mark
Yeah,
say?
there was a side scroller that had wizard in it.
So,
Had 3 games on it.
Really? I'm looking this up right now because I'm curious.
Trying to think. I've never heard of it. I mean,
Wizard.
I've never heard of that game before. But then again, there was
Magician
like,
Lord?
there was like tons and tons and tons of games made for Neo Geo.
I'm looking at Magician Lord right now from 1990.
Magician Lord.
Yes, but it sounds like a very underrated name.
Yeah. Magician.
He said it was at Fairlane's Bowling Alley in Pembroke Pines.
I would not know this because
You know, that's interesting that he was talking about that because we've talked about like going and approaching bowling alleys and stuff for their machines. But once again, the space you guys haven't even seen like everything that we have. I mean, we have a lot, but we can't even fit it in here. So
Yeah.
not yet.
Yeah, not yet. What
Yeah.
was your worst arcade machine that you guys owned?
Worst in what aspect?
Like,
Like-
it was just completely just bad to the point where it's like,
soda in the motherboard.
I would probably say, which one machine would you say is the worst one to
Like,
deal with? Like
someone
the most
touched the
like
screen
issues,
for the
most
monitor
issues.
and
yeah.
Duct taped it or something.
I would say the worst one, really, not the worst, but the most difficult one is the classic, the 20th anniversary Pac-Man and Galaga machine we have.
Oh.
Because the mere fact that the monitor is so unique and we wanted to keep it as original as possible. So
Okay.
you have to find that monitor. And we've already been through like 2 of them.
Yeah.
I think.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, the monitors, the tubes go bad. And so you have to like recap them, or you have to like get a new
Find
chassis
one.
or find one, So that's probably the most temperamental machine.
I would say the one that I was mostly I liked was we had like a motorcycle game that people sat on, and it then turned into a let's just sit on it and not just play.
Yeah,
and
that
I was
was-
like, and it's like one of those where you kind of lean to turn, and like people just sat on it and just like, and it was like only on one side, so it began to like lean up to the right. I was like, oh, that's gonna break. It's gonna break soon. And if somebody breaks it, it's gonna be expensive.
No, I'm imagining the same thing you are.
You find very quickly that you have to. You find very quickly that you have to learn how to fix
I
machines.
hate you. Just make me-
You have to learn how to fix machines very quickly.
Yeah, so for those that are watching, arcade machines, they look fun, but it's a lot of work to maintain one, let alone, of course, owning one is one thing, but maintaining it, especially for years, takes time.
Yeah, public use. Yeah, takes time, but it can be done. Don't let that discourage you. It can be done. You just have to once again, you have to learn. It's really once you get into the meat and potatoes of it, it's not complex.
No,
it's
it's
not
very
really
not.
difficult. It's just you have buttons, you have a board, you have a power supply, you have a monitor. That's pretty much it. You just learn what works, what doesn't work, what you can change, how you can't change it. We live in an age where arcade machines can be modified. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
And if you don't know how to do anything, you have your phone.
yeah,
YouTube.
LCD monitors are so inexpensive now that you can put a nice one in. Yeah, the purists are like, oh, it's blasphemy. You shouldn't swap out a CRT tube.
Yeah,
monitor.
I was gonna get into that, like the
Yeah.
CRT monitors and whatnot, and people just don't understand that. I understand, like, people do want the classic CRT monitors for certain games, especially Smash, Melee, and whatnot. But they have to understand the reality. People have to understand the reality of the fact that they're old. One, they're old, and two, they're starting to die out. So that means they don't have a lot of life cycle in them. And eventually, you're going to have to make that transition to a much better monitor, especially one that's going to consume less power than a CRT.
Yeah, not to mention the CRTs can kill you. Like, you touch that monitor, you touch that tube when it's charged, it's like thousands and thousands and thousands of volts of electricity running through it. Because that's why tubes are so dangerous. You shock yourself. You can kill yourself, give yourself a heart
Oh my
attack.
god. Hashtag real arcade machine.
Yeah, exactly. Can kill you. You don't know what you're doing. I've shocked myself. I'm sure Will has shocked himself
Yeah.
before.
Yeah, I have to.
Yeah, so you just touch it the wrong way. You're like, oh, that was bad.
Shockingly terrifying.
Yes.
Oh my god.
But anyways.
Alrighty. Should we get into the Q&A, because there's a lot of questions.
Why
Okay,
not?
yeah, why not?
Why not? Let's see. I want to.
Alrighty.
Let's hear these questions.
Do you guys
All
have
anonymous.
Battletoads?
All anonymous. All anonymous.
All of them are.
Do you have pinball? No. Just talked about it.
What about
We
going
just
to the
talked
rollerball?
about it.
They have a bargain.
And for those that are watching in the stream, whether on Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube, you can also ask your questions in the chat, and I'll go ahead and ask them.
Let me see if I can
All
hop on
right, so
Twitch.
the first one, this one's all right. All these coming from anonymous. How many indoor cats do you have?
Indoor cats?
Yes.
We have. Well, Will, do you have one? Is your one still alive?
Yeah, I have one.
Here's one. I have.
The herd, like I
like
say.
11 or 12, like something like that. Like somewhere you lose count. Well, the thing is, because we foster a lot, so since we foster and we foster to adopt out, so we have like we're always rotating cats in. I have like 8 cats that stay at the house. You know what I'm saying? 2 are very old. And, we have a hodgepodge, and then we have we foster and adopt out a lot with the programs and stuff. It's a lot. It's a lot.
How many outdoor cats?
For the colonies, like we only have one colony. That's what they call them. We only have one colony right now. So I think the outdoor colony is like 4. We're like working to trap the mother, because the mother and the father to get them fixed, because they'll just keep reproducing.
Okay.
Yeah, they'll just keep reproducing. So there's 4 outside.
Okay, I got a question from the chat from Sheila Lopez. She asked, "When are y'all gonna go to Swap Shop and buy those old arcade games? They have so many."
That is an interesting thing.
I've reached out to them, but I don't even know where to begin with them.
I went there after one of my real estate appointments. I went there in person, and I walked up to the counter. Dude looked like he hated life. And I walked up to the counter, and I said, "Excuse me, sir."
My gosh.
I was curious because I looked to see if they had like a route number on it. You know,
Yeah.
someone's maintaining them. And I walked to the counter. I'm like, "Excuse me, sir." He's like, "What?" And I'm like, "Well, I was curious. You know, are you guys interested in selling these machines? I see that they're all off because they're all off. You know." He's like, "I don't know. You got to talk to the owner and blah blah." And then I was walking away, and some girl asked him a question, and he came, "Oh no, we're not going to sell them or whatever." I want to buy them. So if you have a contact about the swap shop, I know it's owned by, I think it's family owned. So I would love to get my hands on some of them. Some of those machines that they have there, beautiful machines. Not beautiful in terms of the way they look right now, but they have potential. Yeah, a lot of potential. But yeah, I would love to have them.
All right, next question from the anonymous. What's the name of the cat that lives outside your porch?
Oh, you're talking about here at Flynn's, I'm assuming? Because we have a cat that's we haven't seen her in a while. But
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that. What happened to
I
that
remember
Flynn's
seeing
cat?
it
She's still
once,
here.
one time.
Excuse me. I've seen her before. I think when they moved the van away, where she was staying under it, she went somewhere else. We don't really have names for the outdoor cats. The one cat that we have, we temporarily named him Good Morning because he's always there in the morning, and he's super friendly. And my heart goes out to him because he's
Good
just,
morning.
there.
Come here, pet.
He's just so he's so hungry for affection, but
No.
we can't have any more on the inside. There's just no more room.
All right, another question from anonymous. What is your middle name?
What's your middle? Do you have a middle name?
Yes, I'm William Dixon Shields.
Dixon.
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 My middle name is Miguel. My full name is Eduardo Miguel Acevedo, but I don't speak Spanish.
Yeah, me neither.
Necesito más práctica. Don't judge me. Don't judge.
Another question from anonymous. What side of the bed you sleep on?
Wow, we were so
Sleep on? I don't know. I mean, I sleep on the right-hand side, closest to the door.
Okay.
Well,
I sleep in my bed.
I do too.
So-
I do too. I sleep. I'm closest to the door.
Closest to the door.
I sleep on the right.
Is that closest to the door?
I sleep to the left because I'm
Yeah.
left-handed.
Boxers or briefs?
Briefs.
Boxers.
What's the difference? Boxers are the ones briefs are the ones that are tighter or
Yeah,
more
briefs are tighter.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because I wear
either one,
compression
whatever
shorts.
Oh, whatever is available.
Whatever's available.
Bandana, t-shirt, whatever.
How many tattoos do you have?
I'm assuming the question was directed towards me.
Me or pretty much all of us. but-
Okay, all of us. Yeah, go around. How many on the wall, Luigi?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
13.
14, actually.
14. All right, Senpai, how many are you?
2.
No, I have none.
I didn't know you had tattoos, actually.
I hit over around 60.
Nice.
So I'm fully a lot of people don't see my shirt off, but I'm pretty heavily tattooed. My legs, hips, ankles, lower back. I have a tramp stamp thing. So
You inspired me to do my leg, actually. Fun fact.
I have quite a few. It also depends on how you count them. How you count the tattoo.
Oh, yeah, because if I have each letter individually, I would have had,
I think I did
17 by
the
now.
last count was 60 something.
I would have had 17 if I counted the words on my wrist.
Yeah, exactly. So it depends on how many you count. Yeah.
All right, I got a question from Mark. He says, how do you guys feel about home game streaming through monthly plans like PlayStation and Xbox offer?
And like the game itself,
Or Xbox Game Pass, or are we talking about streaming itself?
Are we
Like
talking about
home game streaming through monthly plans.
Are you talking about passes, to play the games?
Yeah, like
Like
online.
Google Stadium, that type of deal.
Oh, God. Right here. Go
Mark, specify.
Yeah, is it? I mean, I guess you could tackle it both directions. I mean, if we are getting into an age, guys, it's very scary in terms of this data. I've talked to you about that before, where data compression, if If you have any idea, if you have any inkling to invest in this world, data compression is going to be it. Because of the mere fact that, think about it, more and more content's being created. We have no place to store it. Storages are getting not limited, but like excessive. So you need to compress the data. That's one thing that I'm weary of with the compression of data, but also with people not owning anything physical.
Yeah.
You are at the mercy of the court. Yeah. Like, think about it. Like, Netflix, like, legit just rolled up their plan. Like, they just increased the price of their plan now. Mm-hmm. Because they have you by the short hairs and they don't care, you know? So it could be bad.
And if there's a show that you like, they can just pull it.
Oh, they could pull it. I think, or you guys think that eventually they'll get rid of hard copies altogether on everything?
I think it's going to starting to slowly transition people to get more used to digital content rather than physical. But even for myself, like you guys already know, like I collect a lot of movies because I don't want to go to digital. I'll go to digital for some things, but I still want the physical copy because if my account gets compromised, all that digital stuff gone. But physical, I can make another account or I can still enjoy it. Like all my digital download games on the PlayStation, if my account gets compromised, I lose access to all those games that I've bought digitally. But my physical ones, I can just make another account and start all over again.
True. But don't you think that it could be good and bad because you could have access to it, but also you could be exploiting. Because remember, it's just, I always forget the name. There's like an actual term for it. That's called junk fees. That's what you're calling it. That's what it's called, a junk fee, which basically it's a membership fee so irrelevant that it's constantly charging you, forget about it. And so that's what you're going to start seeing. I mean, but then again, did you guys know that GameFly is still around?
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that.
I didn't know. I thought I haven't heard that in a long time. I thought it was probably ran out of
I've just seen the
business.
shitty commercials.
No, GameFly is still around, bro.
Yeah.
GameFly is still around.
Yeah, with my opinion on it, I've enjoyed Game Pass since. Even though you're at the courts, you're not paying too much for a license of a game. Like you can just play it out to test how you feel before you actually get a copy.
Interesting. How much is the fee?
I think I pay like $14 a month.
Okay. So once again, a junk fee.
Yeah.
Which is small enough, it's insignificant enough for you not to notice.
Yeah. Plus they have like Game Pass Ultimate where you pay for gold and the Game Pass, which isn't too much. Which I use honestly because I play a lot of games like Gears of War, Dead by Daylight. I like to test out indie games like Carry On.
So I can see the positive in it being like an opportunity for like the smaller guys to get their game out in front of people.
Yeah, I like to test out the waters because if I'm gonna review a game like with Silverback and such, I'd like to at least have an idea of what the game's about.
Makes sense.
Especially with also Nintendo, they have their like $20 a year membership.
Really?
Yeah, for the Switch, you play all classic NES, Super NES, and I believe GameCube, if I'm not mistaken.
Really?
Yeah, you have like the original Legend of Zelda, Metroid, etc. And
I didn't know
having the classics like that seem to be good for the nostalgia trip.
Learned something new. I didn't know that existed.
Yeah, $20 a year.
Bad. That's not bad.
What would you say about the PlayStation Store?
What about the PlayStation Store?
Or they have a membership, right? Or PS Now?
PlayStation Plus. Oh, PlayStation Now. Oh yeah. That's all I can say because most of the games that I have, it's owned. So I've never used PlayStation Now services, so I can't judge on that.
Okay. Eventually, I'm gonna get it. I just got a PS4 for once.
But do you think that they could be setting it up for the ability for more mobile gaming? So that think about it, like as opposed to having a tactile disc. Like your PS, the Vita, what was it? The
PlayStation Vita?
Yeah, that doesn't have a disc reader in it.
No.
It's all virtual, right? It's
all digital.
I never knew that, actually.
Yeah, so like...
I mean, they carry they do have a physical media, which is the little cards that you can put inside for their games.
Oh, like the cartridge? Or?
Yeah, like a little cartridge, just like the Switch.
I didn't know that. So maybe they're trying to like transition people to that, like, all right, we're gonna make everything digital.
What I would say for mobile is gaming it's just a certain niche. It's a very certain niche for like those mobile gamers like Clash of Clans or Clash Royale,
Candy Crush, and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's a very niche depending on how you play it. But I know the multiplayer, the MMO is popular, like Game of Thrones, My boy Casper spent like maybe less than $200, maybe $1,000 on what he did to that game.
Really?
Yeah, he's kind of a psycho on it, but that's the funniest thing about him.
Whoa, that's good.
The commitment is terrifying.
All right. Next question we got from Terry, and she asked, "When are y'all getting NFL?"
Oh, the NFL. Did she try to watch NFL? Terry tried to watch. We tried to get on NFL last night, and it didn't work. Why would we have no NFL?
It's better than 2K.
No, I think she's talking about the actual channel, right?
Oh.
Terry, are you asking about the actual channel or the game? Because we ran into NFL Blitz before. Like, I have NFL Blitz on my machine if anybody wants to play, like, sports games. And we also have, like, Hang Time NBA Jam. We have, like, all, like, WrestleFest, WrestleMania.
Is wrestling a sport? That's a real question I have.
Yes.
Wrestling is a sport, yes.
Bella Chris asks, "How spicy are the hottest ramen you guys have? I'm a glutton for punishment and tempted to try them."
I don't know. You can ask. What?
Waluigi tried them. How are they? The ghost pepper ones. We have ghost pepper ones that are a million Scoville units.
Let's see. My first experience with it, I had a numbing sensation. It was very strong. I mean, I lasted maybe 5 or 10 minutes without it, without any water or something to eat. The Paki chip wasn't that bad, actually. The ghost ramen was more painful.
Yeah, the ramen I've heard is more painful. We've had people not make it.
I love it. But let me reiterate this. On Saturday during the Flynn's event, I got called out to a challenge, and I can't say no to spicy challenges.
Yes, the one chip challenge. And they actually liked your video.
Really?
No, remember you said then they liked your video?
Oh, yeah, a lot of people. Even, Paki noticed me.
Yeah, Paki noticed you. Yeah,
Paki
yeah.
senpai.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, that's the ghost pepper noodles, $4. Come and try them.
Yeah, it's brutally
take a picture of
painful.
you.
Like, eat. My advice is eat quick, pray first, and ask questions later.
Yeah, don't slurp it
Yeah, I did not slurp it. I just like wolfed it down.
as quickly as you can.
And I did a live chat on this where my mom was just yelling at me not to do this. I love you, Mom, if you're still watching this.
Mark asks, "I play World of Warcraft. How do you feel about monthly subscriptions for a single game?"
I would say, because I've been in the MMO genre, if you like it, why not? You know what I mean? It's just only.
As long as you don't lose your reality.
Yeah, that's another conversation.
How about this? Like, ignore real responsibilities.
Lightning bolt. I'm sorry, the LARPing just got in my head for some reason.
Yeah, like as long as monthly memberships, hey, if you got it, why not?
If you like the game, support it.
Yeah, exactly. As long as you're able to pay for your roof over your head and food and to provide for your family, that's probably what I would draw your limit at. But yeah.
It looks like on Twitch, Coven1 responded to my question earlier about the Nintendo Switch, saying that they wish they added a GameCube. It's only on NES and SNES right now.
Makes sense because of button configurations.
Yeah, that's true. And the simplicity on it.
Yeah, the simplicity of it. Even MAMEs have a hard time running GameCube.
Really?
For some reason. Yeah, GameCube and Wii's and stuff like that. I've messed around with it. But anyways.
Anonymous also asks, "Would you rather be on the cover of Time, People, or Food, or Wine magazine?"
Or rather, I'd be on food because Time and People are just.
I have my
much up.
answer, but I'm going to let them answer first.
I don't know. Food, that would be weird.
I don't know. At least people will take you more seriously if you're on food because Time and the other one are just garbage now.
I was going to say food and wine just because I've endured all the heat here.
It'd be cool. It'd be cool to be on Time magazine, but yeah, I don't think it'd be probably good to be associated.
Oh my god, I got a dad joke. I can say I'm one of the hottest guys at Flynn's.
There you go. You and Sean should go at it. I bet you.
Oh my
God. Sean can handle hot stuff too.
Yeah.
He puts blandish. He puts crazy pepper stuff on his stuff.
I might lose to him, but I'm going to do it anyways.
Nice.
I'm calling you outlandish.
Anon also asks, "What would you do with 1 week to do anything, all expenses paid?"
Sleep.
Yeah, I have a problem. Yeah, I have a problem. I can't turn it off in my mind in terms of working on stuff. If I had 1 week to do anything,
All expenses paid.
all expenses paid.
Sleep nicely.
No, honestly,
I'm kidding.
I don't know. What would you do? What would you do, Will?
I have no idea.
What I'd probably do is, first off, I'd have to hire an in-home pet sitter because I don't board my animals. So, or you know what? Forget that. I'll just rent my cats. Cats are easy to maintain. I'll rent like a super nice RV, right? Super nice RV. One of the motor coaches. Yeah, motor coaches. And then we would travel around the state, And now this thing, it could fly because this is a dream, right? So this RV could fly also. So we would travel
Quick cast
the whole world
Flynn-mobile.
and just get like tattooed by some of the prominent tattoo artists that I'd like to get tattooed by.
Ooh.
And then I would like to go and go to Japan, go to the Gundam thing, the Gundam.
Like
the,
me and
the big
Silverback thought
Gundam
the same thing
That'd be
about
dope.
Japan.
That'd be dope.
And we're gonna go steal it.
Gotta go steal it.
Just so
Wait,
you're a
are we
new
gonna
type.
reenact like the Power Rangers in a Gundam?
That's probably that, and then I would probably be working on stuff too. Maybe I would build a Gundam. I don't know.
Would you rather be a painter, writer, or musician?
Painter, right? I don't know. Will, what would you
Oh god.
You know what I'm gonna say.
Painter, writer, music. I don't know. I'll probably do painter.
Yeah, I would say painter. Painting would be kind of cool.
Like I said, I've been getting to 40K, so I can see the appeal of painting.
Oh, I feel like my crowd would not be surprised, but I want to be a rapper.
A rapper,
Wall
but I'm not a rapper.
I'm not a rapper. I was
But
gonna
I'm
say.
not a rapper. Boop bop beep bop boop. You guys haven't seen that video on YouTube.
Super hot fire.
Yeah, super hot fire.
Super hot fire.
Or I always remember Dave Chappelle's skit where he's like, "My name is
the
Dave."
Tupac from
No,
the
no, not Tupac from the future. Where he's like a Damon. He's like, "Who's the best rapper ever? Damon, whatever." Where one of his I think it was one of his that show P Diddy used to have where it was like where like you want to be a rapper or whatever. Like it was like where all of them lived together. And he used to have. Remember Dave Chappelle did a skit, and
I
he
feel
was
like I remember this, and it's hurting me.
Yeah, I remember it.
you remember that skit?
Yeah.
And he's like, I want. He had like his bodyguards like pick him up and carry him out of the room. Anyways,
I just
that'd be
remember
cool.
Rick James, bitch. That's the best one.
Anon also asked, do you think you are hard on yourself?
what do you think, Will? Are you hard on yourself?
I think on some capacity.
We are always
I think it's,
our worst critic.
yeah.
That is true.
If you don't hold yourself accountable, I mean, it's an interesting concept because if you hold yourself too laxly, then you will never really accomplish anything. But if you hold yourself too hard, I'm working on that balance. But yes, I am too hard on myself because I know I can push myself even harder than I am now.
Same.
Me too.
Do you have any phobias?
Not really. Will doesn't like spiders. I know that.
I don't either.
Arachnophobia.
I don't like spiders. I don't like snakes. I don't like lizards.
I'm
It used
afraid
to
of
be like when I was a kid, I was terrified of ET.
E.T.
But that's really,
no.
that's it. Not really, not anymore.
I'm honestly afraid of ducks. That's it.
Ducks?
Yes.
Ducks?
Did I stutter? I am not afraid of ducks. Those things are dangerous. And hearing the backstory about them, they're terrifying.
When home alone, do you shut the door when you use the bathroom?
Yes.
No.
Yeah, you have to, because the cats will come in.
Wait, your cats? I have my dog. What do you want about?
Yeah. Gotta keep the door
My
closed.
112-pound hefty Weimaraner.
To stare at you.
No, he just sits next to me, and I'm just like, hi. That and I don't know if there's someone hidden just watching me do my business. That sounds terrifying. Ninjas.
Mark asked, how do you guys afford to have the legendary Silverback Senpai on your podcast? I heard he's a diva, but a good guy.
How do we afford it? I don't know.
I'm glad Coben's agreeing with me on the ducks. Thank you.
No, we didn't afford them. We got invited. We got invited. But no, you guys are doing a great job with this podcast thing. Once again, consistency, consistency, keeping it up. I see so many people start these things and then 2 episodes in, they're like, oh, I don't want to do it.
I think this is the perfect time everybody wants to be a streamer.
Oh my gosh,
Oh my
it's like
God.
an epidemic in itself.
and new rappers.
And it's unfortunate because Twitch and all these other things, the platforms are just remember, if you're not paying for content, or what did they say? If you're not paying for something, you are what they're making money off of, or something like that. It works like that. If something is free and you're not paying for it, you are the product,
Yeah.
and they're taking advantage of you.
If they're just putting ads on you.
Yeah, exactly,
Yep.
exactly.
Anon also asked, what is the greatest goal you want to achieve in the next 5 years? For me, to be self-employed. That's it.
Me too.
Self-employed. I don't know, Will. What do you think for yourself?
For myself.
For yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
Next 5 years for myself, I'll buy a house within the next 5 years.
I think it's possible.
Yeah, it's doable.
You know, I actually want to change that to that. I definitely agree.
Well, I'll be your realtor, guys. So.
No, dude, I forgot about that.
5 years. I'm 36 now, so I'll be 41. I'd like to be debt free. I get my student loans taken care of. Flynn's is build out debt gone. I wouldn't necessarily want to buy a bigger house, but build onto my house would be nice. And then, own a couple investment properties. And then, I don't know, build more Gundam.
Become a Gundam.
Become a Gundam.
What are the 5 things you are grateful for?
5 things you're grateful. Wally, would you go for?
Oh, wow, I'm on the spot. Grateful for having you guys with us today is the first
Awesome.
one.
Thank you.
Waking up bright and early is the second one. Third one's my family. They're always supporting me or questioning my antics, and it gives me a good reason to answer. Fourth one is water. I mean, I gotta stay thirsty. Or stay hydrated, at least for the most part. And the fifth one, I would say my stomach for gladly recovering from all the hot stuff I've had this month.
Dude, I'm surprised you don't have an ulcer or something.
I'm surprised too. Wow, that was easy, actually.
Awesome.
I would say for me, it's most definitely having you guys on. That's one. 2, be able to wake up and see another day. That's another. Health. 3. Family and friends. 4, and most importantly, the future.
I saw that comment, Turbo. Stay thirsty, my friends.
Stay thirsty. I would say 5. Honestly, to live in the United States, I would say that's probably one of the 5 because we have our problems, but from what I've seen around the world, our problems seem very meager compared to like living in countries that are war torn. So we have our freedoms for the most part. So that's something I'm thankful for. Obviously, family comes into it. Danny, my faith, the ability, like Senpai said, to be above ground, like for another day. That's definitely something to be thankful for. And then also a huge one is to be, pretty much, to be my own boss, like I've been doing it for 11 years. So it's like, or no, excuse me, I apologize, for 9 years, going on 10 years. And, it's nice to not really answer to anybody other than yourself, in terms of like making things done. So that's me.
Yeah. For me, I would say like family, of course, friends. Like Eddie did say, the whole business, waking up, actually enjoying what you do. You don't, you know what I mean? That's a big thing. I would say, like I said, health-wise, I'm pretty stable. I mean, I have nothing really major to complain. That's always a big thing. I would say 5, let's see. Financially, I'm doing okay.
Yeah, we could all be doing a little bit better.
We could all do a lot better.
But it was worse.
Yeah, it was. It was worse. But like through everything going on right now, I'm okay.
Oh yeah, think about it. We are able to afford what we afford, and sure, we're not paying ourselves anything for Flynn's, but like think about everybody who's like in a much worse condition. Like
There's always somebody.
Oh
worse.
Yeah, dude. I mean, even the people we meet coming in here, some of them are really down on their day. They don't have a lot going on, and man. Anyways, yeah, it can get bad.
All right, and the last question from Anon is: if you could own the world's largest collection of anything, what would it be?
A collection of anything.
Collection of anything.
Anything.
Oh, I know that one. That's easy for me. I'll do guns.
Can't take these away.
That'd be pretty.
Come on, that's not funny.
I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking guns would be cool. Guns are world's largest collection of, I don't know. Yeah, I can't really think of anything else. I mean,
like
cars.
a room. It's like this, like a vault room.
Yeah, cars don't really do
I
it.
think,
But you gotta have.
I think I'm with Will on that
Yeah,
one.
but you gotta have the ammo to go with it.
Exactly.
Like you'd have every gun would have
All right,
to have
I'm going to
like
be different from you guys.
10,000 rounds of ammo.
I'm going to say a collection of rice.
Rice.
Because when there's no more food left, Who are you gonna come to?
Because he has it all.
Exactly.
But you need the water to cook the rice. So
There's gonna be some rain and precipitation.
oh, okay.
We don't need to worry about this.
The post-apocalyptic, that's radioactive rain. So
Looks like our rice is gonna be spicy tonight.
all right.
I think there's one question from Bella Chris Weimer. My zodiacs or zodiac signs?
I'm a Sagittarius.
I'm a Taurus.
I really don't know. I'm in
Where
what's
are
it,
you?
August.
Where are you? August?
August 29th.
What's August?
Leo.
I don't know. Someone look it up. Like you have what's
you make me-
August?
you make me
August
work.
what?
29th.
29th, right?
Oh, Virgo.
Virgo.
Yeah, I'm a Taurus, so I'm with bullshit.
So yes, Sagittarius.
All right, and Mark also asked, "Do you guys watch Boruto, and how do you think of the anime as compared to the manga?"
Nope.
No.
Nope.
I haven't watched in a very long time, but I did hear about the leak in Boruto. What they're gonna do. It's gonna
with
be
Kishimoto's
very
art.
interesting.
I saw that on TikTok, and I almost had a mini heart attack.
Yeah.
Coolest artwork I've seen.
Oh no, the leak.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. I was like, maybe I'll start watching it when it happens. But
I'm just stuck doing the summoning jutsu, honestly.
No, I do not watch that.
He is not a man of culture or a weeb, as we say.
No, I mean I think the last anime that I remember watching was like Samurai X or
Ooh,
you know,
okay.
or Rurouni Kenshin, things like that, you know.
Hey, that's
or like I
impressive.
like them older movies like Akira and things like that. It's just the new series is so many episodes. It's like
There's
you
a
got
lot
to
of
catch up.
complicated
Yeah, it's like it's like Gundam, you know, it's like Gundam. You start watching one episode and you're like, "Whoa, this universe is way bigger than I
I'm
thought."
afraid to watch Gundam because I don't know how deep I'm going to be in.
I would say, you know, I've been sticking with the movies. You know, they seem like digestible. You know, you can get through them. The TV shows is endless.
Yeah.
Or Pokemon, the same thing. Like
I know.
that's
I
like
watched that
Pokemon.
stream of all the Gundam types he showed me.
Well, Mark wants to know what's the leak. He's dying to know.
I don't want to. I
you
can't
wanna-
say
you
it on
wanna say
stream. If you want to.
Oh, basically they're seeing that Kishimoto designed of.
No. That's not the leak I'm talking about.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, no. This is it's Boruto. I don't want to say if anybody. I don't want to spoil anything, but
Just tell them where they can look. Where can they go find it?
I forgot where I saw it. My friend was sent me a link.
Probably
I forgot.
Reddit has it on there.
Probably Reddit, but it's
Reddit has
when
everything.
it's just let's just say something happens to Naruto and Sasuke's daughter asks her how he got his eye, and there's a whole bunch of stuff.
Oh, that.
Interesting.
If you know, I haven't seen Boruto since like the very few episodes I've seen Naruto, but like that's the. Yeah, it's not a small one. If it was a small one, I would say it, but yeah, it's gonna ruin somebody's day.
Oh, man, that's horrible.
That's a way to piss on someone's
All
cereal.
right.
All right, and the last question that I have, well, this one's coming from me, and that is, what are you guys looking forward to in 2021 before we close this out?
Well, looking forward.
Yeah, what are you looking forward to in 2021?
Go back to normal.
Yeah, I despise that word normal, but I guess that's the biggest thing. It's you know what I look forward to the time when the fear is gone.
Yeah, that's
When
that's a
fear
better way
is
to
when
place it.
fear is gone and people and not people fear is rightfully so. It's kept us alive throughout the thousands of years we've been on this planet. But you know the fear has overtaken us. It's like a blanket, and people don't want to get out from underneath that blanket. And I think if we lean into that, more businesses will survive. You know, I mean, I look at it from the business point of view, and there's ways to do it. Let's even use the word like hygiene's important. You know, like I'm glad like people are like, hey, yeah, wash your hands. It's like a good thing. You know, you should wash your hands after you use the restroom. You know, like, but a lot of I think this has also tested a lot of small businesses where they've come to terms with like, hey, yeah, my protocols weren't perfect. You know, like I should clean a little more. You know, yeah, the floor shouldn't be this sticky. You know, or whatever the case may be. But yeah, I would say people like everyone, all of us, just. Like don't allow the fear to control us, you know. And I'm looking forward to the cons coming back. I'm looking forward to. I mean, my hat goes off to Otaku Fest and MegaCon and Super Fan Con and Anime EY and MizuCon and all those. The fact that they're starting it up again, you know, and Otaku Fest is the first one, you know, and we'll be there. I'm really interested to see how that goes down, you know, and interested to see the response. I personally believe it's going to be great. I think it's going to be a great event. I think it's going to be a great time, a great awakening. But yeah, that, and then I would say 2021. Honestly, the big movies go back to the theaters.
Yes.
Because they haven't had any.
We can all watch Wonder Woman 84 in disappointment.
Yes.
I'm sorry to say this, DC fans.
Yeah, that'd be cool. But what about you guys? What about in 2021?
Well, more, more positivity for not just myself, but for everybody. And just, continue to do the podcast and see how far, myself and Waluigi will go with it. And just overall, hope for the best, expect the worst, but another good year. Because I feel like even for 2020, for myself, I would say it's been more of an inconvenience, but it has not stopped me from doing the things that I want to do. Like, if I can't do it one way, okay, fine. I'll find another alternative way to do it. And that's how I've been progressing throughout this year, is just finding different ways to doing things instead of just doing it the casual way. Because of the pandemic, it shifted where I wanted to go, so now I have to go a different route. So, you adapt and you overcome, and I'm hoping for great things for 2021.
100%.
I'm definitely looking forward for 2021. Mostly, hopefully, when things get more Florida-like, the Florida Man articles. That's the best. I don't believe in normal. I believe everything's more Florida here.
Yeah.
If you see r/Florida Man, you'll know exactly what I mean. But definitely looking forward to keep on rolling with the podcast. We've been doing this since March, like the March Madness. And I can't wait for more things, having opportunities to do panels or possible more guests and outcomes. Definitely can't wait to travel, possibly.
Yes.
Without any problems.
Yeah.
And especially the events that we can have here.
Mm-hmm.
These
Yeah,
are
we
one of
got.
my favorite moments.
It's gonna be good.
Yeah. Bigger plans.
Bigger plans.
Yes. All right. So as we're about to go ahead and close, Eddie, Will, thank you guys for being our guest. And is there anything you want to say as we close out?
No, I think I'm
Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Leave us a Google review. No. In all seriousness, try to make today or sometime this week support a local business, small business.
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily need to be us, but physically go out to them. Because we know some businesses that have like nobody for weeks. And it's disheartening. And go out and frequent them and just show the love to them, and even if it's something small or stupid, like a card shop or a flower shop, just go out and support them today or tomorrow or sometime this week. That's it.
Well,
I don't think I have anything. That should be good.
all righty. Waluigi?
Holy smokes, we have a few days until 2021. Definitely thank you guys for being with us and having us
My
here
pleasure.
and letting us do the podcast. This means so much to me, and I'm definitely grateful to volunteer with you guys. Ever since I met you guys in October 2019 Hero Hype Con, I met you, Eddie.
Yeah, you met me. Yeah, you were in the
I
panel
definitely
thing.
knew this place had so much potential, and I'm looking forward
Yeah,
to
you
it.
had that baseball bat thing.
Yep.
Yeah,
I was a
remember.
Venom.
Yep.
Definitely look forward to what 2021 has in store for all of us.
100%. 100%.
All righty. And with that being said, this is episode 18 of the South Florida Gamers Podcast. Come, if you're in the Broward County area, be sure to visit Flynn's Arcade. We're located in Margate. What's the address?
5869 Margate Boulevard, Margate, Florida 33063. And we also have our New Year's Eve get together, kind of super casual, nothing super crazy. We'll probably bust out the popcorn machine, cotton candy machine. We'll have like some pizza and drinks, and probably get like a couple bottles of champagne or something like that to do for.
I'm
the
bringing
midnight
Jack
thing.
Daniels.
There you go. He's bringing Jack
And some
Daniels.
shots.
There you go. We'll get a little.
Don't worry about what I'm bringing.
A little crazy. So come on out, guys. It'll be a good time. We'll just play video games and hang out and bring the new year in together with the Flynn's family. And yeah, so it's going to be a good time. And we're open today from 12 to 12.
Yeah.
Yep. All righty, y'all. This has been episode 18